with you where sports meets that thing called life. I hope you're having yourself a tremendous morning this morning. And I don't know what it was years ago that made me say, I hope you're having a tremendous morning. But, you think about it. Good morning, a great morning, a tremendous morning. That's a big one, right? That's the greatest. So I hope you're having yourself the absolute best morning that you possibly can be having. And I am so excited to be here with you where sports meets that thing called life inside the Cafe Kubal studios in Cafe Kubal, located for you on 3501 James Street, 324 West Water Street, 401 South Salina Street, as well, and those are all in Syracuse, as well as 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, New York, and inside of their drive-through on the corner of Route 11 and Taft Road at Sweetheart Corners in North Syracuse. So make sure you head out to Cafe Kubal today. Fill your cup up right, do it locally, and let them know that Wake Up Call sent you. So, with that being said, we are so happy to have you here worldwide. Whether you're in Central and Upstate New York, the Midwest, the West Coast, the East Coast, wherever you're hanging out, we appreciate you for being here with us on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. Can't thank you enough for being here with us on YouTube.com, Facebook.com, and MixLR.com, all /WakeUpCallDT, Facebook.com /LiveNowDT, and on WakeUpCallDT.com. With that being said, our first hour is dedicated to the LeMoyne College Dolphins. Every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, we bring you Dolphin Time. And on every first and third Wednesday, Dolphin Time means AD and DT, which is Athletics Director Bob Beretta and myself, Dan Tortora, bringing you very special information pertinent to the times. And we've spent a lot of our last few months being the exclusive first place that you heard about LeMoyne's realignment and reclassification, and then all of the exclusive updates that we've been able to do with Bob Beretta. This coming week, we're going to have a conversation on club sports and intramurals. Very excited to do that as LeMoyne is expanding their horizon in the athletic world. So we'll talk with Bob about that next week. And of course, every second and fourth Wednesday, we have the Dolphin Dive. And that is one of these days here. Today is a Dolphin Dive where we dive into the stories of student athletes, coaches, administration, future Dolphins, as well as alumni. And today, we're diving into two stories. So hour number one of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, inside of Ma and Pa's Popcorn.com's What's Poppin', is dedicated to the Dolphins entirely. As Jeff Lonczak, the women's and men's tennis head coach, joins me. Both teams had a match to start off the 2022-23 campaigns, and it's unique because the men's season, they have a little bit here and they have a regional, but their season comes later on in the spring. The women's season is played now, and then they have a few things that they do in the spring. So we get to see them both, but this 2022-23, it's unique in men's and women's tennis as we get to see more of women's tennis now, more of men's tennis later. But they both had their opening season match. They both got a victory, and Jeff Lonczak, the coach of both teams, will be joining me in a Dolphin Dive in just a few moments. And then after Jeff, around 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, we will tell the story of Marissa Lisikatos, a.k.a. Missy, and she will be joining me from the LeMoyne College Dolphins women's soccer team on how she was on the team, got hurt, came back, graduated, was put in a situation where let me go like this. She was on the team, played, got hurt, played again, COVID happens, then she goes into coaching, then they find out she's got another season of eligibility, she decides she wants to play, there's a coaching shift, and then another coaching shift, and then she gets back on the field. So, big time story from Marissa Lisikatos. You talk about adversity, and she handles it with a smile. We're going to have a lot of fun today, and I think for the first time ever, somebody in Rapid Fire is going to entertain me with some romantic comedy conversation. So, finally, somebody else that likes romantic comedies. Marissa Lisikatos is going to be joining us in just a little bit here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Coming off of the last couple games that I just saw her and her team play, valiant efforts on site at Ted Grant Field at LeMoyne College yesterday. Arguably, and Bob Beretta said this too, the best women's soccer game we've seen in the last couple of years on campus despite the 1-0 loss. Had about 20 shots on goal, this team did. So we'll definitely continue the conversation on that, and very excited to have Marissa join the show in just a little bit. So, Dolphin Dive will carry us through this first hour of the show. You know on Wednesdays that we split the show into 2 videos, and we do that because fantasy football, I want you, we've been doing that for so many years. I've been doing fantasy football since I was like 12 years old, but I've been covering it, with these fantasy football leagues that we have in Central New York, in Central Florida, as well as our Marywood Alumni League. I've been doing these all together for 12 years. So we're going to go into the second hour, and on YouTube and Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT, we'll start a new video so that you can go to the fantasy football advice instantaneously. Because some of you, and I do it here on Wednesday, so you have the advice for Thursday night football, as well as when there are Saturday games later on in the season, all the Sunday games and Monday night. And it gives you Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, pretty much almost an entire week to be ready for your fantasy football matchups. It also gives you time to ask us questions, and I know some of you might watch it last minute, so that's why the video is separate. So make sure in hour number 2 you join us for the second video after you hear from LeMoyne. So we got plenty coming up in the Fantasy Football Power Hour with advice on every game and a prediction coming to you on my thoughts when it comes to fantasy football for NFL Week 2, proudly presented by the Wildcat Sports Pub on 3680 Milton Avenue in Camillus, New York. So with all of that being said, it is time to jump into the Dolphin Dive, and we're going to do that right after this fast break on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. Thank you so much for being here inside of the Cafe Kubal studios.
Cafe Kubal offers same-day local delivery of our products, offering no delivery charge for Onondaga County. Shop cafekubal.com for fresh roasted coffee beans, cold brew, travel mugs, and all your essential Cafe Kubal needs. Cafe Kubal, coffee for the soul.
This is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating. Find them at 201 Old 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and all the time online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, you can order all throughout the country at maandpaspopcorn.com. And remember to get your tins, which have in-store half-price refills forever. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, available to you for fundraising and all of your events by calling 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
Witty Wicks Candles and Gift Shop, Township 5 Camillus, where you will find handcrafted all-natural soy wax candles over 60 cents to freshen up your home. We carry a wide range of locally made items, Salsa Q's, Syracuse Salt, and Chocolate Pizza Company, to name a few. Let our knowledgeable staff help choose unique gifts and keepsakes for any occasion. Gifts for family and friends, and maybe a little something for yourself. Witty Wicks Candles and Gift Shop, Township 5 Camillus.
welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Kubal Studios, hanging out with you where sports meets life on YouTube.com, Facebook.com, and MixedLR.com/Wake Up Call DT. Very happy to be here with you for a new edition of Dolphin Dive. You know that we dive into the stories of student athletes, coaches, administration, future Dolphins, and alumni when it comes to our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with the LeMoyne College Dolphins. And Jeff Lonczak, the head coach of the men's and women's tennis teams, are here now coming off of very successful seasons and getting themselves into the NCAAs last year and making a big noise for LeMoyne, and very excited for all the Dolphins have done. They start off this season here, both with a win over the past weekend. Jeff, how you doing today?
Doing great. Thanks for having me, Dan.
Yeah, absolutely. And just what you could say about, everything that happened last season, the successes, the men made history, the women made history, and now you've already jumped into this campaign here in 2022 with a victory match to start things off.
Yeah, it's been great early. The women come back a week early, so we kind of get to know each other pretty quickly. I'm making them do 2-a-days. I essentially pretty much move in with the freshmen. I see them a lot, so it's great. The men, it's kind of like it's their program. I'm just the guy that makes sure everything runs relatively smoothly. They they have everything set to a T. I'm basically the person who makes sure the courts are available, who makes sure everything goes on. Their practice schedule is their practice schedule. I'm there, I'm there to help, whenever I can, but those guys are so focused and ready to go. It's really all about them.
And we see this, over this past weekend on September 10th, that both the women's team and the men's team with victories over Damon University. Just what you can say about what you saw right out of the gate and, where both of these teams are at as we get things started.
Yeah, my focus a little bit right now has to kind of move towards the women because it's our championship segment and we have 15 dual matches over the course of 6 weeks. So, to look at that, we were nervous, to be completely honest. And that's, I've learned throughout the years in terms of scheduling that you have to schedule properly for your first match. And, I think we did. Shaking those nerves off, I think is something that, we all did, but we're still learning about each other. We're trying to figure out, are we in the right positions in terms of numbers? Are we going to be playing against the right people for our games? So, it's still a learning process there. The men, they were all business. They did a good job and really took care of things on their end. Manny moved up to 1 on Saturday, and he looked good.
And we see the ITA regional for both teams, the men's team and the women's team, but just, the difference in scheduling. I know you got into it a little bit there, but that the men had this game against Damon and then they have the regional, whereas the women's team has a full slate of matches coming up, and just how you balance kind of the strangeness of, okay, this feels like a season and this feels like kind of a game, a moment, and then, as far as the men go, and then just a regional after that.
Right. Yeah. It's really difficult on the men, especially to anybody new coming in. Generally it's difficult. I had two grad students that are coming in, they understand the deal. But yeah, the newer guys, it's like, I want to practice every day. Coach, we got to practice every day. No, guys, we're limited to 25. We have matches, we have region, we have these things. We can't practice every single day. So it's tough to let the younger guys understand that. The older guys try to teach them that. And that's why they're out there on the court without me, pretty much daily. So yeah, and then the women, it's full fledged every single day. There's no breaks. We got to be prepared for our regional. We got to be prepared for our weekend. We got to play the proper matches in a good order to allow us to be prepared for the future, for the end of October.
Yeah, and I have to shout out the women's roster as well, as part of my blood lies in Spain, that we have a bunch of different places that are represented here, and a lot in the Hispanic culture. A couple players from Ecuador, a couple players from Spain, player from Peru. Just what you could say to that part of it, that you're willing to go all over the world for the men's team and the women's team to find what you need. But, selfishly, I love seeing that Spanish side of things, especially, seeing Spain and then seeing Ecuador, and having a cousin from Peru to see them represented as well.
Yeah, it's awesome. I just the other day, Francesca, who's my senior from Ecuador, we're just talking about, we're at the State Fair, actually. We're talking a little bit about the different cultures. And she just says, man, you've had a lot of South American players. And I said, I've liked every single one of them. Every single one of them that I've had, I've liked them. Peruvians, Uruguayans, Ecuadorians. It doesn't matter. I've liked them all. And with the Spanish players, same thing. I mean, there's a level of focus in terms of competitively that I see from all my players in Spain. That's almost next level at times. But in general, the quality person, the quality student, the quality athlete is extremely high.
Here with Jeff Lonczak in this edition of Dolphin Dive, exclusive to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, inside of the Cafe Cubal studios, speaking on men's and women's tennis at LeMoyne College. With all of this going on the court, off of the tennis court, there has been months, and we brought you the exclusive first conversation on reclassification and realignment. We've given you consistent updates with the athletics director, Bob Beretta, and we just had President Dr. Linda Lemura on. How are you taking the potential move to Division I as a coach who has obviously been very successful at Division II?
Yeah, I mean, anytime I think about something like that, I think about that as an opportunity. I mean, to be completely honest with you, I see. I'm hoping it happens. I'm hoping we get into one of the conferences that would welcome us in, and I would plan to change a little bit in some of the recruiting avenues that I take, and I plan to win that league, and I plan to get to the tournament. I mean, I know it may sound a little cocky or arrogant, but I mean that's what I want to do. I would like to bring LeMoyne to the top of whatever conference I'm in, and get us to a NCAA bid.
Yeah, and they say that, when these moves potentially can happen and whatnot, that, some people might be leery of it. You're excited about it. You sound like, hey, listen, it's a new challenge. What does it do recruiting wise if and when you were a part to be, you could be a part of say at a MAC, a Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference, or an NEC Northeast Conference where there's teams. I mean, if it's in the NEC case, there's teams that were in the NE10 that are now in Division I. If it's the MAC, we have more of regional rivalries, more New York type teams. I mean, if you not only go Division I, but go to one of these conferences that has geographically more sense, academically more sense, what can that do for LeMoyne?
So I think one thing that it does right off the bat when you go D1 is that it opens you up to a larger amount of really solid American recruits. So all of a sudden you have this base of American recruits that's there, that's just not really necessarily there for me, because to be honest with you, a lot of the American tennis players think that there's D1 and that's it. I mean, not to say that they don't understand there's other divisions, but for them, their goal is I want to play D1 tennis, period. So I mean, I think it opens up a larger pool there. And yeah, I mean, I'm big into the international route. So I think what I would have to do is establish a little bit more relationships, actually where I recruit, which, is in the Madrid area, sometimes Barcelona. I got to get out there, and I gotta dig into those clubs and maybe go a little bit deeper in hopes to get some even better players.
The coaches have been involved in the process in forums, student athletes and parents. How do you feel that has gone? And what do you think about the fact that LeMoyne has had these opportunities where many voices can be heard?
Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, I think it's a testament to what Bob Beretta does. I mean, he's a leader. I think he's a leader for the future for us. So, I mean, I think to have everybody's voice kind of heard on campus is just next level for us. Yeah, I mean, look, some people see change with some trepidation, and that's understandable. But I also think that I think it's the future. I hope it's our future. I'm definitely an advocate for it.
Why do you think LeMoyne should be Division One? What is it about LeMoyne that makes you feel like the entire school can be that caliber?
Yeah, I mean, I just think we compete that way. I mean, I think every sport continues to kind of progress. I think the coaching staff is high level. I think they understand what it would take to be a D1 sport, and I just think in general, in terms of, I guess, the monetary stuff, I think it's there. I think we can get there for sure.
That coming from Jeff Lonczak, LeMoyne College Dolphins men's and women's tennis head coach. Jeff, for you, we talked a little bit about it off the air. You love tennis, you love the court, but you're also a fan of sports in general. You're an NFL fan as well. So you and I were talking a little bit about it. Week 1 of the NFL did not disappoint. And I've told people this from months ago. I said the first game of the season might be the last game of the season, as we may see Bills Rams again in the Super Bowl. So Bills take care of business. I picked those Bills on the road to win that game. Typically, when you make multiple mistakes that are self-induced, and you know this as a coach and as a player, you don't win. 4 turnovers and they win by 3 touchdowns. So it shows what the defense was able to do. And then we look at the rest of things. The AFC South, where my Jaguars live, the Colts and the Texans thankfully tied, so it looks like they didn't even play in week 1, and the Titans lost. So Jacksonville not in really a bad state for losing it. What did you take away from week 1? We saw multiple games going to overtime. We saw multiple missed kicks, and I believe that the Chris Boswell kick was heard around the world, as it sounded like when they say the bell, what is it? When the bell rings, or when the bell toll rings, or something like that, it literally sounded like Santa was on the roof when I was at my friend's house watching the game. What did you take away from week 1 in the NFL, where nothing seemed to be truly completely normal, and the reigning Super Bowl champions look like they didn't have it together?
Yeah, I mean, it was awesome. I mean, I love it. I think not the parallel between my programs in the NFL, but you talk about scheduling, you talk about first game. I mean, I think there had to be a little bit of jitters even for some of these guys, like Vegas. Not to say that they're going to beat the Chargers, but none of their starters really played in the preseason, and it looked like it. I mean, Adams was great, but it's like the 49ers. You're thinking, okay, Lance takes over, for Garoppolo. Great, these guys are going to be tough. They turned over the ball. The Bears beat them. My Bears. It's unbelievable. I can't believe we're 1-0. And it's just so strange. You got Green Bay look pretty bad. I mean, and it goes to show you, I think these franchises are really built up front. Okay, you got certain guys that are unbelievable quarterbacks, sure, but if you can't protect these guys, there's a problem. And if you can protect them, it's like, these guys can throw. I mean, the 10th, 11th, 12th best, the Kirk Cousins of the world. These guys are great quarterbacks. So, I mean, I think it's going to be a heck of a season. I can't wait. I'm pumped. I love it.
Yeah, I think we're definitely setting up to see some really awesome things happen here. And what do you want people to know about on the LeMoyne side of things, what they should expect and kind of get excited for? We know we have the regional for both, but for the women's side of things, we have a full slate of matches coming up here. What should people know, and why should they come out?
Yeah, I mean, I think they should come out to see the new freshmen. I mean, they're uber talented. One from Galicia, Spain, which is kind of like the northwest portion of that country, almost on the border of Portugal. Another from Madrid, and another from Bulgaria. They're great players. We're working on getting them better, getting them smarter. I think that's a big thing. We're gonna do our best to compete, and we got, like you said, we got a full slate, and I got a lot of D1s on there too. So I mean, I'm hoping to get as many D1 matches as I can in preparation for a hopeful move.
That coming from Jeff Lonczak, preparing for what could be coming for LeMoyne College, and definitely a proponent for this potential move that could be happening for the Dolphins. And obviously Wake Up Call will be first to that for you to let you know what pool those Dolphins will be swimming in very soon here. Jeff, as always, I appreciate your time. Congratulations on starting off with victories for both the men's and women's team, which I've come to know when it comes to your teams, and very much appreciate, as always, all the support and everything you do for the community.
Oh, thanks, Dan. Yeah, no, it's been a pleasure. I'm so pumped to hear the extension, and yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to another great year, and hopefully we get to chat again.
Yeah, Bob said to me, he said, we'll work with you as long as you'll work with us. I said, well, then I guess get ready for forever. So
that's the best news I've heard all day.
Awesome. Well, thank you as always.
All right, Dan. Thank you.
In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you.
This is Jim Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in their community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
I'm George Townsend of Honda City with some good advice when buying a new car. The true cost of owning a new car is determined by the appraised value when you trade it. No vehicle appraises higher than a Honda. Next, look for low APRs and deep discounts. You also want low maintenance costs and great fuel economy. That's why my advice to you is to buy a new Honda. Looking pre-owned, visit our Honda Certified Used Car Center. Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard, Liverpool, or HondaCity-CNY.com.
It would be a pity if you don't shop at Honda City.
Our corporate purpose at Chick-fil-A is to glorify God by being faithful stewards of all that's entrusted to us and to positively influence all those who come in contact with Chick-fil-A. And what became increasingly clear from our success in Cicero is that people love Chick-fil-A. And also I think we recognized that we had a great opportunity to grow the brand and grow our platform. I felt incredibly grateful when I was selected to be a Chick-fil-A operator. think what it's meant for me, what I've come to realize on a very deep level is that this is a calling for me. It's not a career, it's not a job. The Lord called me to be a Chick-fil-A operator and to use these restaurants to glorify Him and to positively influence other people. I'm blessed. I'm very blessed.
Head to Chick-fil-A Clay on 3974 State Route 31 in Liverpool, New York. What's up, everyone, and welcome back here to an all-new Dolphin Dive, part of our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with the LeMoyne College Dolphins, as we are here every single month during Dolphin Time, Wednesdays at 9 o'clock, and every second and fourth Wednesday we bring you the Dolphin Dive, going into the stories of student-athletes, coaches, administration, as well as future Dolphins and alumni. I am here today with LeMoyne Dolphins women's soccer grad student, Marissa Lisikatos. Marissa, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Very good, and of course I'm Dan Tortora.
She's clothed in strength and dignity and laughs about fear of the future. I got it done right before I had my first ACL surgery, so I was kind of looking for just something new. You know, soccer was kind of on a hole, and I wanted to spiff it up a little bit. So me and my friend went and we got tattoos, and you know that quote always kind of like stuck with me. Just like the laughing without fear of the future.
Get light without fear of the future. Have you always been like that, or did you have to grow into someone who could kind of laugh about it and say, hey, I have no control over it, I'm going to be positive?
Definitely grew into that. Definitely more of a control freak growing up. But with soccer, sports, like injuries, it just kind of like taught me that sometimes you just have no control. You don't know what's going to happen. So it's part of growing up, I guess, learning that you just have to let things go and vibe it out.
You've had an interesting career, and you went through injury and then were kind of coaching and then came back and had to find the NCAA waiver, the ability to do so. Bring us into the very unique road that you've had here at LeMoyne.
So I graduated high school in 2017. I was recruited by Coach Carey, came in spring of my senior year of high school. I tore my ACL playing basketball. So I was unable, I redshirted my freshman year, came back my sophomore year, played a season, and then my junior year, first scrimmage of the year, I tore my other ACL. So I was out redshirted, and then my senior year, COVID hit, so I was unable to play because all the seasons got canceled. And then my graduate program was like a 4-1 with LeMoyne, so I was graduating to the SU Masters Chemical Engineering, so I decided to finish that out just because of COVID. Nobody knew what was going to happen, whether we were going to have a season, whether we weren't. So Coach Carey asked if I want to stay involved. So I took a coaching job because I was like, you know, I didn't really get to fulfill my soccer, so I did it. And then the spring of last year, Coach Kathy approached me and was like, would you want to try to come back and play? I know you have years of eligibility, like I'd like to give you the opportunity to. So that's when we started to go through the process of reinstating me as an athlete.
So Carey put you on and said, do you want to stay as a coach?
Yes.
Kathy Braun came in for a few months and wanted you to play again. Then she leaves, and then Yarrow comes in as the interim. And how did that work out? Did he kind of just say, oh, okay, well, you went through the process with Kathy, so we're good to go, or how was that?
Yeah, I mean, he was good. Once I was cleared and was ready to go, it was kind of just like, you're here, let's see what you got, and play like you're one of us. So he was definitely accepting of me coming back, and then I just had to prove my place.
3 coaches, COVID, injury, a pretty uneventful college time that you've had so far. How do you look back upon all of this adversity with a smile?
I don't even know. It's just some things that you grow from, you learn. Like, I just take it as moments where, you know, yes, would I have planned it out differently? 100%. But I think it definitely sculpted me into the person I am today. I have experiences that I have grown from that some other people can't say that they have. And you just, I don't know, just in order to cope with it and keep moving forward, you have to like look at the positives, because it was definitely tough, but there's a lot of good that came out of it. I mean, I am who I am because of all of it, so I'm definitely thankful for everything that happened.
Speaking here with Marissa Lisikatos of the LeMoyne Dolphins women's soccer team in this edition of Dolphin Dive on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. inside of the Cafe Kubal studios. You said you're the person you are today because of all of it. How would you describe the person that you are today?
That's a good question. So, I don't know, I think that I am very open to the things that are going to happen to me. I feel like I try to stay true to who I am, no matter what happens, whether in outside influences. I have a goal, I have a path that I want to stay on, but ultimately I have an end goal, and I try to stay driven and like compassionate towards what I want to do and who I am. So I think that's where I am right now.
What is the end goal?
Sort of torn between that. My chemical engineering degree is there. Then I'm also right now doing a master's in teaching. So I have two routes right now. One is like an engineering route, and one is a teaching route. So I'm not sure right now which one.
What do you enjoy about chemical engineering, and what is it about teaching?
So for chemical engineering, it's really the problem solving. I love like having different situations. I think that's a part of like what I love about soccer too. It kind of correlates to that. It's like you have situations, you gotta think fast, like how do you solve these problems? So I love that about chemical engineering. With teaching, it's just helping people and being able to give my knowledge to other people. Like I love doing that. Being able to help someone understand something that I can get is just really rewarding.
Do you know what you would want to teach?
Yeah, so right now I'm focusing on chemistry. And like also like resource room, helping students with like learning disabilities.
And what has made you, which I think is a beautiful thing, helping people with learning disabilities, what about that interests you and kind of excites you?
So both my siblings, or two of my siblings, where I've used like the resource room and like really utilize it. So I feel like I got to see them, witness them go through school, and it's something that like I was fortunate enough to not have to go through, but I would always love to be able to help them and really like. Yeah, maybe school isn't the best, like you don't love school, but I'm going to help you understand and like learn the beauty of knowledge. And like even though the structured classroom may not be for you, there's still like many ways to learn that are still exciting.
Why do you love school?
I don't know if I love school, but I do love gaining information, gaining knowledge, and having my brain just be like constantly stimulated and like soaking up new and like, yeah, just basically like knowing new knowledge.
Just like having the wisdom. Okay.
Yeah.
What's the best thing, either in school or not in school, best thing that you've ever learned? Maybe something that you take into a classroom, that you take into life, you take in a game?
That's a good question. I'm not sure really. It's just a bunch of things. I love like the whole physics, like the whole basics of physics, like when you see, especially in games, like when the ball hits off and goes different directions, like the baseline of physics is really intriguing to me, and I see it like everywhere, like especially in soccer, like just the projectiles of ball, like the ball and stuff like that.
So while you're in the game, in the heat of the moment, you're like, wow, that's some cool physics.
Yeah, when the ref doesn't make the right call, I'm like, physics doesn't let that happen.
Yeah, and I mean, and there is, so obviously, you know, I played sports, I played basketball more than anything else. And the crazy thing about it is being Italian and Hispanic, I never had anybody in my family go, oh, play soccer, right? And it was like, do you want to play basketball? Do you want to play baseball? And then you kind of look at it, and I would just mess around with it and just have somebody pass me the ball. And my feet started doing these things, right? And you talk about the physics of it all, and then I started coaching. The game is such a beautiful game. What do you love about the game, and when did you fall in love with the game?
So yeah, I definitely agree. The game is very beautiful. Like when you can see the best of the best doing it, and the movement of the ball, and just how crisp it is. And you could be playing 90 minutes and touch the ball for like a minute, and it's just this like solid fluidity of the game. The way you can break down the other teams, it's really rewarding. But I also came from a family where softball and basketball was like the primary, and I'm the only one that ended up playing soccer out of it. So I started like really young age, like, not too young for a lot of people who are playing soccer is like really early on. But I started around 5th grade, like my best friend was doing it, and she came from like an Irish family, and they like love soccer, so she was like, "Come do it with me," and then I've just been playing ever since.
So she got you into it. What's her name?
Hannah.
Hannah. So how did Hannah get you into it?
Rec soccer. We did everything together when we were growing up, so she was like, come on, we can go to practices together and stuff. So couldn't pass up that.
Where is Hannah now?
She is home. She's doing a nursing program at Manhattanville.
Okay. Good for. And do you guys still keep in touch
Yes,
with
of
that?
course.
Okay. All right. So we will play rapid fire in a few minutes. I'll let you know that it was coming. So, looking at this season, going through all the coaching changes just to get here, 3 different coaches before the season even started, how have you addressed it, and how do you feel the team culture has addressed it?
So it's definitely been hard. I mean, we're at this point is where we just have to like continue to like Coach Yarrow has been great. We were really nervous coming in with week before, not even knowing who the coach was. But I think we're just here, like soccer is soccer, like that hasn't changed. And he's definitely like earned our respect and we earned his respect. I think we have a very mutual like relationship. So it's definitely making the transition really easy. So it's working out.
How would you describe early on in the season what this team is doing right, and then maybe some things that you're focusing on?
I think we work really well together, and our work ethic has been really strong. Coach Yarrow is always saying that. Our ball movement has been really good. I think we're still working on like game fitness and just staying up. I think with the coaching change, we kind of like everybody was like in limbo and stuff like that. So I think we're still trying to like catch up on that end.
That coming from Marissa Lisikatos here in this edition of Dolphin Dive on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Kubal Studios. It's time to play rapid fire. You ready?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to get 3 apiece. I have no idea what Marissa's going to ask me. She has no idea what I'm going to ask her. And so, out of the spirit of fairness, I will let you go first. You can ask me whatever you want.
Okay. How'd you get started into this?
I love telling stories. I've always been someone that likes to see people smile, love to make people laugh, and I love to get to know people. And I think a common misconception in broadcasting is that people that have their own shows want to hear themselves. And that's not true in my case. I like to provoke, something maybe, get somebody to open up, but I like to hear and I like to learn and I like to make the world small. I love bringing people together. I want to see people happy. I want people to see that there's good people out there. And I know I do it differently, and I think it's because when you're honest and you care and it matters to you, you can't fake it and you can't hide it. So I don't walk out of an interview ever going, oh, well, whoever I talk to, I'm going to be one of 100. I leave that interview going, I really hope that I left them with something good, and I open my heart up to let you or anybody else affect me in a positive way. I like to just see people realize there's good people out there, and there's a lot of us, and I try to get us to talk because the people that aren't so great like to talk. So I try to make sure we're louder to the best of my ability. My first one for you, Marissa. Okay. Are you into movies or no?
Yeah.
Okay, what type of movies? That's not my question. I'm just
Rom-coms.
Okay, all right. I love it. I love romantic comedies. Big fan. So I love finding stuff on Netflix that like you haven't heard of.
Yeah.
Great movie called Look Both Ways. Did you hear about that?
Wait, what is it about?
It's about a girl who is like, she makes a decision in her life with one of her friends, and then that night, like one of 2 things can happen, and we see her life in both ways.
That's all that movie.
Yeah, good movie.
Good one, yeah.
See, look both ways. You just got promoted. Now Marissa and I want to split the money. So NIL, you can do it. Figure it out. So I love romantic comedies. I guess what I would say is I'm so happy that I don't have to keep this to myself. What are your 3 favorites?
Oh, I don't know. I don't like to choose favorites when it comes to movies because I just like to watch all of them.
If you had to sit right now and watch 3 in a row.
I really don't know. The Wedding Planner, for sure.
Okay. With J-Lo. Okay, yeah. Good movie. Good movie. Not to be confused with The Wedding Singer, which I have not
I
watched.
haven't seen that.
No, I'm not. I don't need to see Adam Sandler with a Jerry curl. I'm good.
How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days is a good classic.
It is a good movie, yeah. Sad, in a way,
Yeah,
but
Adam's
good.
happy.
Yeah.
They get together then.
Yeah. She spoiled it as 20
Oh,
years
sorry.
old.
It's all rom-coms.
Yeah, you're always like, well, obviously you guys are gonna be together. Like, if at the end of one of those movies, like one of them killed the other one, and you're like, oh, well, that's a shift. It's a Lifetime movie. It's usually based in reality. Yeah.
I don't even know what the third one would be.
So he's, what'd you say? How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days?
Yeah.
Okay, good one. And then you said the wedding planner. So yeah, one more. Do you have a favorite person? And there's certain actors and actresses that do a lot of them.
I know. No, I don't have. I mean, there's a few that I see, and I'm like, oh, that's probably gonna be a good one, but I don't have a favorite.
Okay. If you had to throw
I can't even. I'm blanking on like all the names right now.
There's Just Like Heaven. That's a good one. Okay. There's Monster in Law.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Father of the Bride. There's what other ones? There's some ones that I can't remember if they ended badly, and so I won't watch them. Like rumor has it, I won't watch that one. He's Just Not That Into You. I feel bad for the people in the movie though.
Yeah.
I feel so bad because it's like a train wreck, and you're watching all these people try to be in relationships that they're not supposed to be in, and God's like, no, and they're like, but maybe, and it's just, it's, I don't know, it makes me, I can't eat when I watch that one. I'm like, I'm just gonna get sick to my stomach, because you know what's gonna happen, but you feel bad.
Yeah.
Nah.
But it's okay though.
All right. It's okay to have depressing movies like He's Just Not That Into You.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your second one for me?
Has it always been sports and athletes, or have you interviewed like other schools?
So it started as a sports show and wake up call, and then I started my company 10 years ago, which is insane because I don't feel that old at all, and it's 10 years old, which is nuts. But I started my company in my 20s, and then I would say that. So wake up call with sports, superpowered pop is entertainment. So we have had actors, actresses, writers, illustrators. And then I worked at Disney, so I do a Disney show called Do Diz with Dan. And then we have a comic book travel show where I travel the country and I stop at comic book and collectible shops randomly, wherever town and city I'm in. And I talk to the owner, because in that line of work, most of them will work in their shop. And I get to know them. If they're nice, I'll buy something, I promote them, I take pictures, I shoot a video, and then I do like a cool, this is what I got. So I've done a lot of different things, I've talked to a lot of different people, and there's really nobody that I wouldn't be open to talking to. I like to challenge myself, so I don't think there's anybody that I'd be like, nah, I'm good. Like presidents, dictators, bring it on. So people that are trying to figure out if he's into you or not, you can come on the show, we could do a dating one. So that's, I actually said that with my stand-up comedy side of things, I would like to do a stand-up comedy dating show where I get to be the host and I get to joke, and they're dating, but I'm also like, in a funny way, making them deal with the issues I think would be down the road. My mom said you're going to get them divorced before they get married, and I said, well, maybe that's a good thing. So, but yeah, we do a lot of different things, and I just like hearing what people have to say, and I always say it's like a couch. Like the people that are watching right now, I want them to feel like they're sitting on the couch with us, and we're just like all hanging out. I never want it to be talking at you. I want them to feel like, oh, I know Marissa because of the show, and I know Dan, so I like to make the world smaller in a good way. All right, my second one for you, Marissa. One song that you would erase from history, and one song you could listen to every day.
Not a big music person. So
Okay. Well, there's a correct answer to the one to get rid of. Girls Just Want to Have Fun.
Girls Just Want to Have Fun.
Horrible
okay,
song.
That's not that bad.
It's a horrible song. And it's played at every wedding. It's ridiculous.
Jeez, this is hard.
If you had one song that you had to come out to on the field, what would it be?
Well, I always think like if there was a walk-up song like in sport, like baseball and soccer, there's a song and like Missy Elliott sings it. And she's like, "It's Missy," because people call me Missy.
Yeah.
So I was like, that would be a part that I would want to come out to.
You want to come out to It's Missy. All right. Missy Elliott's a good one to have. So that's a good thing. Do you have one you'd get rid of?
One that I would just.
Girls Just Want to Have Fun.
Okay.
Say it, let it out. Be one of the girls on the show that says it. Just come on. Do you have a type of music you don't like?
No, I listen to all across the board. I just whatever mood I'm in. I have no particular, like, oh, I don't like that. Like,
Okay.
Music is like my like I'm so just whatever
Okay.
anybody else wants to listen
You're
to.
not really a music person.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. So her answer was girls just want to have fun.
Yeah.
So what's your last one for me?
Who's the coolest person you've interviewed?
There's a lot. I would say I recorded it and I kept them both. My two grandmas. And Dad's mom, who I called Gammy, she had Alzheimer's. So when I got to talk to her and record some of that, it was cool to, just kind of hear. I mean, she went through World War II and so many different things. And then my mom's mom, my G mama, closest person in my life ever. And she lived to be almost 101 years old. And we talked about so many things, and I'll never forget, and they say I'm a lot like my grandfather, and he passed when I was 6, both of them did. And, but I got to spend a lot of time with them. And my grandmother said, she went like this, and she goes, I had him right here. And I said, what do you mean? She goes, I had him in the palm of my hand. And I said, well, did you take advantage of it? She goes, nope. She just knew how much he loved her, and she loved that. And I asked her, I said, Grandma, she went decades after he passed away. She never dated, never did anything. And I said, why? And she said, because when you have the best, what else is there to have? So it's stuff like that I don't forget. So I'm a hopeful romantic. Blame it on the romantic comedies, except for he's just not that into you. It's such a sad movie. Okay. What is... So my one for you, We talked about music, which you don't like. We talked about movies. Let's say you're the President of the United States, okay? I need you to pick one of your teammates to be your VP. And what would be on what would be your slogan on all the boards? You look like you had an answer all the way through, and then when I said slogan, the laugh came out. I was like, I don't know. Fine, yeah, you got to pick a VP from the current squad.
Okay, probably my VP would probably be Magda, because we play next to each other in the center mid, and I feel like we really have been working really hard this preseason to get to know each other, to be able to play together, and not have to communicate vocally. We just we really can vibe each other.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's a good person to have as your VP.
Yeah.
Slogan.
Yeah. Missy, Magda, 2024 slogan. Better than everything we've had. That would be a good one.
Maybe something like we're in this fight together.
Okay. I like that. We're in this fight together. Good one. Good way to conclude it here.
It's a little violent for presidency, but it's okay.
We're in this fight together. I mean, yeah, the word fight, whatever, it's fine. We're in this fight together. We've seen enough over the years that is tame compared to everything we've seen. So we're in this fight together, which we all are, and wherever you're watching and listening from, I hope you're all staying safe and staying well. As we always tell you on the show, God bless, no stress, do your best. And those are 3 things that rhyme and 3 ways to remember to take care of yourself and be good to other people as well. For Marissa, a.k.a. Missy, Lisikatos, and myself, Dan Tortora, and off-screen, her Crocs. We appreciate being here on Dolphin Dive with you. Thanks, Marissa.
Thank you.
Thank you. Avicoli's, located on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, has been your trusted neighbor for decades. Located just steps from Liverpool High School, we're happy to have the Liverpool Warriors on-site, on-location broadcast at Avicoli's through Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every single month, featuring student athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year from Liverpool High School. Head out to Avicoli's today on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and drinks. We'd love to see you out there, and of course you can call them at 315-622-5100 for takeout, delivery, and catering. That's 315-622-5100, and also find them on myavicolis.com. That's myavicollis.com. Having peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to Canine Campground, because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see Canine Campground and where your dog will be staying in the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or of course the luxury cabin, because if you know Lily, you know she loves luxury. Now you don't have to wait to the last minute to find a family member or a friend that'll take your dog for a few days. Call Canine Campground at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. Their drop-off and pickup times are Monday through Sunday. Check K9campground.com for more information. That's the letter K, the number 9, and campground spelled with a K.com. K9campground.com.
When you're going out of town, bring your dog to Canine Campground.
PB&J's Lunchbox, the food truck that you love finding all throughout central and upstate New York, now has a street-side cafe. So when you're craving their traditional favorites as well as their out-of-box amazing menu items, you can now head to 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. Located just minutes from the highway, the Thruway, Destiny USA, and Onondaga Lake Parkway, PB&J's Lunchbox Street-Side Cafe is there for you Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner all throughout the day. Get breakfast for dinner, dinner for lunch, whatever you fancy, including their award-winning grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Find them at 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. PB&J's Lunchbox, where we love to know what's in your lunchbox. As a patient, what do we want? To be cared for, to be listened to, and to have someone walk us through the process on our path to victory. Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics does all of those things beautifully, with Dr. Mark Petropoli leading the team on 791 West Genesee Street in Skaneateles, New York, located minutes from beautiful Skaneateles Lake. Whatever your injury may be from head to toe, preventative care, rehab, physical therapy, laser therapy, and surgery are all available at Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, where they care about us, they listen to us, and they understand that everyone's path to victory is a little bit different. Let them help you on yours by calling 315-685-7544 to make your appointment today. That's 315-685-7544. And find out more information at victorysportsmedicine.com. And welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Kubal Studios, hanging out with you where sports meets that thing called life, and we giving you a double dose of Dolphin Dive. Double dose of Dolphin Dive. I love that. So a lot of D's going on here for Dan, so makes sense. So happy to be here with you. Big thanks to Jeff Lonczak, the men's and women's tennis head coach, and a shout out to both teams for winning their first match of the 2022-23 campaign. And of course, a very big thanks as well to Marissa, aka Missy Lisikatos, who joined me to tell her story of adversity and smiling through it, being positive. And I love the tattoo and the Bible verse that she has. So just a beautiful thing, to look to the future and not be afraid of it, right? To smile. So a lot of beautiful things going on here on campus at LeMoyne College, Salt Springs Road, right there in Syracuse, New York, off of Erie Boulevard. And a big thanks to Jeff Lonczak, Marissa Lisikatos, and all of the student athletes, coaches, administration, future Dolphins, and alumni that we've had on the show, and all that we look forward to having on the broadcast, because every Dolphin is welcome. Dolphins are better when we swim together. So with that being said, we're going to end this video and continue the broadcast. You know the Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And we are live every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time on YouTube.com, Facebook.com, and MixLR.com, all /Wake Up Call DT on WakeUpCallDT.com and on Facebook.com /LiveNowDT. So however you're connecting with the show, we thank you so much for being here, hanging out with us where sports meets that thing called life. So very excited to be able to bring you Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and hour number 2 is coming up for you right after we end this video, start a new one. So for those of you on MixLR and on WakeUpCallDT.com, continue to listen through into our live radio stream, and for those of you